So the first thing that we did is we done this creation of new project, the Tours of Heroes project that we have completed, and we are able to just add the project and run the project, add the title of this project. That's what we did it. That's a very beginning on the first step that we have done so far. Okay, all the steps. So go through them and try to understand by tomorrow and come up with your questions that you have. Okay, since we have another 20 minutes time, I will go through the one more concept here. That is the first topic in this one, hero editor. Okay, so we are going to create an hero editor. So let's see that. So all these are kind of a components. Okay, hero editor is a component that you're going to create. Okay, just like here in the pictorial diagram that you have, this is a base component that you already created today. Maybe I'm going to create a hero editor on top of it. Okay, something like that. Now we'll be creating, and we'll include that hero editor inside app component. That's what we are trying to do it. Okay, so let's see how we are going to create a hero editor component. So what is the command to generate a component? See this. This is a component. For generating the command component, you will be using ng generate component. Okay, these are the commands, and then you will say heroes. That is your component name. Okay, once you generate, it will be created one folder inside src app heroes. Inside this location, it will be created. All right. So shall we create now? Let's go here. I'm going to my Visual Studio Code. I'm going to add terminal. In the terminal, I'm going to add. So what I'm trying to do, ng generate component heroes. Okay, shortcut that you can use for generate, G you can use, for component you can use C and heroes. That's the shortcut that you have. So once I click on this one, it create a component, and then the component will be created inside src app. Inside that you will have one more folder called heroes. Okay, let's do it. Okay, it's very quick, and you have the heroes folder here. All right. So as we said, like component will have the CSS file, HTML file, and TS file. These are the three things that it will have. And spec file, you forget about it. I will discuss later. Okay, these three things are there. And what we are trying to do, any component that has to be on top of app component, right? So if I go to here, we should be including that one here. So let's go step by step so that you will not get confused. So we have created this command that is completed, and then we go back to app.heroes, app heroes component. Initially it looked like this one. Okay, how it looked like? It looked like a component. You have every component will have the selector, and what is the selector name that you will be having? App heroes, template URL, style URL, and there is a constructor ng on it. That's it. Okay, these are the details that you will be having. And in the TS file, we will go one by one. Let's wait. Expand heroes. Okay, and we talked about TS file. The TS file, you have the selector, template, and URLs. Okay, you should not be having any doubt. And there is a constructor which where you will be initializing your services or any kind of pre-initialization before you starting something right on your application. This is where that will be happening. And similarly, constructor, you have ng on it. We will be discussing about it later. And here also you will be trying to initialize few things while starting your application. Okay, there are a few life cycle methods in the Angular. There are 7 to 9 steps are there. That includes your constructor and ng on it as a those two life cycle hooks that you can say. So we will discuss about in Angular life cycle hooks in details. Okay, that is very important when you face some interviews. Okay, so this is how it initially look like. Okay. And in the HTML hero works. Okay, whenever this is a paragraph that you have, that's simple thing that you have, there is nothing, right? And whenever you wanted to add something in this one, that's where you will be removing and including the things. Okay, now go back here and so I'm going to add one property called hero. Winstrom is a hero name that I wanted to add, one hero that I'm going to add to this component. Okay, hero equals to Winstrom, that is a hero name that I'm going to add it here inside a TS file. Go to TS file, add one component name. So where do you want to include? Will it system or here inside? Okay, hero equal to Windstorm. That's one thing that you added. So if I want to display this value in the HTML, what I need to do, I have to do something in data binding that you have to do using this interpolation tag, and on the variable name that you have here. Okay, that's one thing that you will be doing. That's what he is explaining. So you added this one, and then you add this inside a HTML. So again, he's trying to add in the H2 tag. That is okay. I will also add in the H2 so that it will display in the larger font. Okay, and I will go back here and see if it is displaying that Winstrom name here. It is not displaying. Can you guys tell me why it is not displaying? Okay, one part is missing here. Okay, we created a hero editor component here. Okay, this is a component we created, but we have not included that into app component. Okay, this app component we have included into index.html, that we have done it. Okay, and this newly created component we have not included that inside app component. Okay, how to include that one? Using a selector. So see in the app component, and I have the selector app root. I kept that inside a index.html so that it is displaying. Right now, I want to put this heroes component inside this component, so that I have to include it here in the app component. Hero selector should be included. Hero selector, that is app hyphen heroes, include inside a app component.html. That's a one thing that you have to do it. So that should be the same thing you should be explaining. Let's see what he's saying. So show the hero component view. So he's saying that this is how you will be adding the route, not route. This is how you are including your component, one component inside another component. So where you're doing inside app.component.html. In the app.component.html, this is very important. Okay, in the app.component.html, I'm including this one. See, on top of index.html, I have the component. Okay, on component, I have on top of component, I have heroes. That is how you are building one by one. That is what I have given here example. This is the index HTML. In the index HTML, you have app component. On top of app component, you're going to create a new component. That's what we did it. Now, if I go back, see, Windstorm is getting displayed here. Is that understandable, or you guys are having any confusions? Okay, let me know. Any confusion so far? That selector is important. How to selector, add the selector from one component to another component. All other things are very easy. Okay, so if not, I am going to do very quick things now. Let's create an interface. That's what he's saying. So interface is kind of an object that you have the properties of your hero. Your hero will have the name is Okay, maybe kind of ID, some number, so and so in the system, right? That is a kind of interface that you need to be creating. Okay, for now, our hero will have only two things. One is the ID and name. These are the two things that you'll be having. Okay, let's create an interface. You have to create interface in the SRC app. That's a folder that you're going to create. So I'm going to create an interface that is nothing but the file that I have to create. Interface. Okay, let's go and create an interface. I'm going to create one file. I'll give hero.ts file. I'll give h small hero.ts file, and I will write export port interface hero. Okay, and this is my hero interface. My hero will have ID and the type of string. So did they explain the types also? Hero interface number. Okay, ID is going to be the number, name is going to be string. So that's what we are going to do it. So this is a TypeScript that you're doing here. What I'm typing here is TypeScript language. ID and name. Name is a string that we have. All right. So this is a hero, and whenever you're creating hero, you need to have the ID and name for that hero. These are the interface that we have created. And then, and what we are going to do is, we are going to invoke this interface into our hero component. Why we are doing all these things is like now we have hard coded here, right? In our example, we have just hard coded here. In the hero, we have only hard coded value of hero. So we don't want to have something like this. We want to have the hero object. Okay, hero ID and hero name, two things that we wanted to have. That's why we are creating this one. So what we are going to do, in the hero component, we are going to invoke the hero. We are going to invoke in the hero component. We are going to import heroes. That is a file that we have created. And then what we are going to do, we are going to create one object. Instead of this one, we are going to create an object. Okay. How you will be creating an object? Create an object something like this, hero and hero values that we are going to give. Instead of giving simple one line of it, okay, I'm going to write it in the below line so that you will understand. All right. So we are creating one object, JavaScript object, a JSON object, where you have ID and name that you have in Storm ID as a one that you have created. Now, if I go back, there will not be much change from the UI, because ultimately whatever you stored in the single value here, and you're storing an object and trying to display. So if I go back here, it will be like an object. It is not trying to understand what it is. So how you need to display this one? In the HTML, hero dot ID. Okay. If I go back here, and it will say one. In the HTML, what I will do, hero dot name. Okay, and it will display in some this one. So that is how you will be doing the data binding and avoiding to have creating the objects. Okay, that is what you are trying to do. So he's trying to do a little bit stylish way. Let's follow him, and so that it will look more attractive. That's what he's doing. We had something like this one, and he's doing all this. Okay, that's nice. back. This is the hero details, windstorm details, and then you have the one name equal to so and so. That is what it look like. And then format to uppercases. If I want to change the name to uppercase, you call it as a pipe operator that you will have. You will be using this pipe operator and uppercase, and you will go back. Now see, it is not looking like a upper letters. Then if I go back to all camel cases, right? This W is capital letter, other things are small letter. If I want to change that into upper letters, if I go back here and use this pipe symbol here and then upper cases, and then you go here. So this windstorm name is displaying in a upper cases. Okay. So these are the simple things that you can play with later. So is saying that editing the hero. Okay, so editing hero is also a very simple thing that you have. Let's add the two-way binding thing. Tomorrow I will explain more detail. For now I will just add this one very quickly. In the hero component, see, this is, we have created hero, right? I mistakenly given some names changed. Okay, something spelling mistake. I want to edit. So there should be edit option here. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do it. Let's add this one. And I will explain this tag tomorrow. And then there's a two-way binding. Okay, this is a one-way binding that you're doing. This is a two-way binding. So if I change something here, it will go back and update back and change. That's a other thing that will happen. So that's a one thing. So to have the two-way binding, you need to do some import. Okay, this is the import that you have to do it from your module. This is the app.module.ts file that you have to do it. Let's go quickly do that one. I will explain why we are doing it also. And then he said he wanted to add inside a forms module. The imports, go to import, add this here. All right, and then that's it. And then you have module, and I wanted to include that inside a module also. Okay. And our module also. 1 second. Okay, so the other thing, I will come back to this again tomorrow. So this is how it looked like editor that we wanted to do. Let's say I want to win. Okay, I want to give something like this. It will apply here, right? Automatically. This is the editor that we are doing. So this is a two-way binding we are saying. Whatever we are typing it here, and it is automatically reflecting in a other way. Okay, getting it now? That's a two-way binding that we have. The ng tag, we will dive into more deeper tomorrow, all these things, so that I don't want to finish it in a hurry. All right, so real quick 1 minute to wrap up. So what we did today is we created a new project called Angular Tours of Heroes, and then we, by default, there is an app component that we had. On top of it, we have created a component called a heroes component, and then we created one object interface. For heroes interface we created, heroes will have the number and string, and we are trying to display one hero with a constant value from here. Okay, and then I wanted to edit this one. We were trying to add the editor here. I will explain this editing part tomorrow very detailed. All right, that is what we did. And now you guys go back and study these two concepts, creating the project and the hero editor, these two concepts that you completed by tomorrow. All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and let me know if you guys have any questions.